Hello learners, I welcome you all to the 11th lecture for the course on International Investment Law and the Environment. So in the past few lectures we've been discussing about how capital exporting countries wanted to develop the standards for protecting foreign investment, and we also discussed about the challenges to this protection of foreign investment. So when there were two competing views, competing interest of capital exporting countries and capital importing countries, obviously they have to meet somewhere and talk it out, right? So in this lecture we are going to talk about the international conferences and the international organization which facilitate this discussion or negotiation between capital exporting countries and capital importing countries. So this 11th lecture is focused on what happened to the competing interest in the context of international conferences that happen within, sometimes within international organization, sometimes even otherwise also certain international conferences happened. So this lecture has three segments. So in the first segment, I will very briefly talk about the efforts of sort of arriving at a balance or finding a solution to the competing interest in the form of international conferences. Then in the second segment we will exclusively look at the conferences that happened under the auspices of United Nations, and in the third segment I want to particularly discuss about two such UN conferences, because the content of these conferences or the outcome of these two conferences are very significant for our discussion. So therefore I am going to discuss those two conferences in detail in segment 3. So this is how this lecture is structured. There will be three segments. In the first segment generally we will talk about certain international conferences, and in second segment we will talk about UN conferences, and in the third segment two particular UN conferences will be discussed. Okay, so moving ahead with the first segment. So in this video we are going to discuss about all the international conferences that had happened. So if we look at the very first Hague conference that had happened in 1899, nothing much was discussed with regard to protection of foreign investment. By 1899 we know the countries had its own difference of opinion. Capital importing countries had certain view and capital exporting countries had a certain view, but nothing much was discussed in the first Hague conference. But in the second Hague conference that happened in 1907, this discussion happened. Why this discussion happened? Because by 1907 one incident had happened, very great incident had happened. We had already discussed about this incident in the previous video, that is Venezuela bombing, right? So in 1902-03 we discussed about Venezuela arbitration, Venezuela bombing and all of these in the previous video. So what happened was, when Germany and Britain bombed Venezuela, so then all of a sudden at the international level there were a lot of debates with regard to the use of military or military intervention for collecting debts. So that became the talk, and that was discussed actually in the second Hague conference also. But please note, even before the second Hague conference, this matter was brought up in Pan American conference, and in Pan American conference the US Secretary of State Elihu Root, this guy is very smart, because what he did was, in the context of Pan American conference, the only capital exporting country is United States. So what he stated was, it is not appropriate to discuss this matter in the context of Pan American conference. Rather, we can pick up this discussion in the context of Hague Peace Conference that is going to happen. So what he said, Elihu Root stated that this matter may not be discussed in the context of Pan American conference. We can pick up the discussion in Hague Peace Conference. Even in Hague Peace Conference, what had happened was, only a compromise was achieved. And what was that compromise? So the capital exporting countries stated that they will not use military intervention for collecting debts, provided if the host state agrees to refer the matter to binding arbitration. So this is sort of a compromise only that was achieved. So this compromise also was not accepted by many countries, including Latin American countries. So most of them did not ratify. With an exception of Mexico, other Latin American countries did not ratify this particular compromise. So this is what had happened in the context of Inter-American Conference and Hague conferences and all of that. So after World War I, League of Nations was established. Under League of Nations, there were many economic conferences that were held. The very first conference was held in Paris in 1929. So there also certain, actually this conference is called by capital exporting countries. So they wanted to assert protection to foreign investment, but that was rejected by Latin American countries. And then even in the second conference also that happened in Hague, what we see here was Latin American countries proposed certain things that was rejected by capital exporting countries. So here at this point of time, Latin American countries and Eastern European countries, they asserted their sovereign right. So under League of Nations, what we see here is capital exporting countries at one view, capital importing countries at one view. So the points that were raised by capital exporting countries were rejected by capital importing countries. The counter proposals made by capital importing countries were rejected by capital exporting countries. Later in the subsequent conferences, we see that the Latin American countries, Eastern European countries was also joined by India, and they would sometimes veto the conference agenda itself if it relates to anything that confers additional protection to foreign investors. So that is what had happened. Now that with many new countries are getting independent, so newly independent countries, what had happened was the number of capital importing countries and the capital exporting countries was there. So they used this to sort of it was easier for capital importing countries to assert their position as well. So what we see in the context of League conferences of 1929 and 1930, whatever was discussed here was nothing new. This was something that was earlier discussed in the context of Inter-American conferences. In Inter-American conferences, to some extent the Latin American countries were successful because they could get the Calvo clause approved through these conferences. If you remember, this is also a point that we discussed in the previous videos. So they were able to get the Calvo clause approved, but United States reserved its rights under the international law. They stated that we still, irrespective of Calvo clause, we still have a right to confer diplomatic protection to our nationals, and we can espouse the claims of our nationals. That is what was stated by the United States. And then they stated that the concept of diplomatic protection is actually a concept that is older to the concept of sovereignty itself. This is the matters were not new. This had already been discussed in the context of Inter-American Conference, where to some extent they got some favorable outcome. So then what we see here was World War II happened. So after World War II, then the Bretton Woods Conference envisaged the creation of World Bank, that is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IMF, International Monetary Fund, and International Trade Organization in order to revive the world economy. These three was planned. So now what we see here was the United States submitted its investment proposal, right, through a planned international trade organization. It had invited Britain for talks, but by then United Nations had established preparatory committee for trade and employment. So what the United States later did was it invited all UN members for this discussion. So in the conference that happened in London, where the Charter of International Trade Organization was discussed, some vague reference to the protection of rights of investor and obligations on the part of the host state, that was all mentioned. But now what we see here is, in the subsequent conference where the ITO Charter was discussed in Geneva and in Havana, United States had added additional provisions, especially the provisions with regard to payment of compensation. US demanded prompt, adequate and effective compensation. Now this was resisted by Latin American countries, India, Australia. So as a result, only a compromise could be done, and that compromise also had a very strong language for sovereignty and lacked, positive guarantees. So at this point of time, this compromise was actually criticized in the context of within the United States itself. So what United States did was, the US Congress itself did not support the establishment of International Trade Organization, because they felt that American interest was not sufficiently protected with this compromise. So as a result, we saw that International Trade Organization could not see the light of the day. Then, in the context of United Nations, there were many other economic conferences where again the competing interest between capital exporting countries and capital importing countries were discussed. So that we will discuss in detail in the next segment. Thank you.